Hello, Chris. Jai Shri Mataji.
Shri Mataji.
And Jai Shri Mataji to everybody. Hello uh, to people who listen to us. Thank you very much for being with us. We've noticed that you watch Chris' video with a lot of interest. I tell you that, yes, I tell you that, Chris. I didn't tell him before, so I want to see his face live when I tell him that. So
You
uh,
mean there's at least three people watching?
more than three people, so more more than three
Okay.
people per hour, Chris. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's quite interest. People are quite interested in your stories, and we want more. So you have to oblige. So
Oh, here I am.
Chris promised us that
Yeah.
he will tell us some of his experience, some of his memories. So please, Chris.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, what's important in Sahaja Yoga is meditation, yeah, and where you get to in meditation. You know, how far do you reach? So, for me, I've had many stories about Shri Mataji. A lot of people tell stories illustrating how human she was, but actually it's more important to illustrate how divine she was, really. Uh, it may impress us that she was very human, but it would not necessarily impress people outside of Sahaja. But anyway, we have lots of books of memories, recollections, which are all very great. Yeah. So just in terms of meditation, it struck me that the really deep, very memorable meditations where I felt I sort of, what should we say, learned something cosmic in the sense of, not intellectually, but just experienced something deep, uh, did not occur actually in Shri Mataji's presence, but actually occurred when she was in the vicinity, when she was somewhere near. So, for example, I had a very profound meditation on the beach at Gandapatakule one year after the Haldi ceremony. And so Shri Mataji was there. I mean, she was nearby in the MTDC. And then there's places like sort of down the river in Kabela, on the lawn at Pakistan. And so these are experiences which, I say, where Shri Mataji's influence was there very strongly. The first year when we worked in Kabela, that was 1991, the workers, we used to meditate on the little landing outside Shri Mataji's main entrance doors every morning. We had some really beautiful meditations there, lots of, I don't know, it was, for me, I remember especially that there was a lot of bhakti. Every day, like this bhakti kind of pouring from the heart. It was really sweet. The next year, that was discontinued and we were told not to meditate there. We meditated downstairs and it wasn't actually the same, it wasn't quite as deep. I remember one meditation I had on that landing in that first year we were working there, and my heart kind of burst open, and all these flavors came out. So I don't know, I guess there were about 12 of them, 12 divine flavors, tastes. And I could actually taste them, and they were sort of coming from the heart. So I can't remember what they all were, but there were things like you'd expect, like sort of chocolate and vanilla and honey and orange flavor. Although I can't remember all of them, unfortunately. I should have written it down at the time. I didn't. So, yeah, I mean, we had some very, very, again, not directly in her presence, but very close to her, you know, in her, within her orbit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I did have one very nice meditation actually in her presence. I think I mentioned that I stayed at Shuri Camps for a year or so when Sir C.P. was there writing his book about Lal Bahadur Shastri. And I used to, you know, used to drive him around and do some secretarial work for him and various odds and jobs. And I was doing some building work as well on the house. And anyway, he went back to India in the winter and he sent a message saying, could I find some books for him about his research on Shastri. So when we got to India for the India tour, I went to Pakistan and with the books and to deliver them to CCP. So I didn't really expect, you know, more than just to sort of hand them to somebody and then leave. You know, but actually, they said, "Well, come in and say hello to Shri Mataji." And I said, "Okay, that's great." You know, so we went in, and you know, as usual, I mean, the protocol, as you know, when you see Shri Mataji, you always bow at her feet when you arrive and when you leave. So we bowed and we sat there, and she called to CP, and he came, and I gave him the books, and he thanked me. And then Shri Mataji said, stay for a little while. So I just sat, I was sitting on the floor, and next to her there was this old Indian man, and she said, this is the first Muslim who ever got self-realization, this man. He was a very, very sweet man, kind of nodded, very humble, modest kind of way. So I wasn't sure what to do really. And Shri Mataji said, why don't you meditate a bit? Which is unusual because she didn't normally, you know, she would talk or something. It was, I don't remember her actually saying to us before to actually just meditate, sort of in front of her, you might say. So I sat down, we meditated, closed our eyes, went in meditation, and the left side started to clear out. You know, English people, our left sides are not very good. So left side was clearing out very nicely, and at one point, you know, you started to feel the joy in the heart, you know, opening up. And then I could feel Shri Mataji enjoying me feeling the joy. And then that sort of made me feel more joy. And then she felt more joy, me feeling more joy. And it just kind of exploded in kind of like just bliss, you know. So that was great. So like for 5 minutes or something, you just completely lost in bliss in Sasara.
Yeah.
So then, you know, eventually you come back down again. And so you're sitting there and I'm thinking, thought comes in my head, perhaps I should leave. Should I go? Should I stay? You know, whatever. And then I thought, well, actually, the correct protocol is that you don't make suggestions. You just wait. When your guru wants you to leave, he'll tell you, you know, so, okay, just wait. So I sat maybe another 10, 20 minutes or something. And then, yeah, enjoy it. Still a very nice meditation. Then the thought comes again, you know, am I wasting Shri Mataji's time? Should I go? Or something? So, no, just wait. And eventually, there was actually a public program that evening in Pune. So eventually, Shri Mataji said, okay, you better go. And then she said, she gave me a list of songs. She said, tell the people who are singing on the stage to sing few songs. There were three or four songs. I think one of them was Sata Janamadu. That was always very popular to be sung at public meetings, because it's kind of, what should we say, it's directly speaking to the seekers, you know. Yeah. So off I went, yeah, and gave the message. Yeah. But that was still, that's a very sweet memory, you know. The thing about these kind of memories is that they heal your left side.
Yes.
I always say, and people look at you strangely, I say, when we come inside yoga, actually we can change the past. And people go, how can you change the past? And the answer is that when your left side's damaged, you remember all the bad stuff. You know, and some, you know, quite often us Westerners, we're running away from the past because it just seems it was full of pain and suffering, bad memories. So let's get away from that, you know. But then when your left side heals and becomes in good shape, you remember all the good stuff and you forget all the bad stuff.
Yes.
So I looked back after some time. So I looked back. I thought, actually, I had a beautiful childhood. You know, it's really sweet, and everything was all really nice. Everything was great. You know, so you change the past.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, speaking about changing the past, some people have done wrong stuff and they realize they are on the wrong side, even after they get the realization. But after that, they admit that what's wrong, they change what have to change when they've done wrong things. And even if they don't change completely, becoming saints all of the sudden, they start going on the right side. I tell you from my experience. So I believe I shouldn't talk about that being inside of that example, but I believe I have in mind some other people that this guys are not at all to be blamed, and sometimes there are blamed by not me again. Is not about me here. About the things they are doing in the past, and I believe it's wrong. I mean, they realize it's wrong. They start going on the right side, right path. So why they have to be blamed? It's above my understanding, but that's human nature. Blamed by the other Sahaja. Aha, you've done some wrong. Okay, it was 20 years ago. Forget about. I realize it's wrong. Let's go on the good.
Yeah, but then I mean, in England, for example, quite recently there was two married people who were married to other people who had a bit of an affair. So some people are very shocked. It happened inside yoga, and they don't want to forgive those people. They don't want them to come back in the collective and be okay. So it's quite tricky because you don't want to endorse that sort of thing. You don't want to say yes, it's fine. But
there are many factors to take into consideration. We have an example like that as well. I don't want to say the country, I don't want to say the people, but I will present it a bit general as possible. So a guy moved with his partner from one country to another. The people doesn't know they are not married. They stay in the ashram. Finally, they move from the ashram And after a few years, one of the people realized that they are not married when they decided to go to India to get married. You know,
Yeah.
so they
So
get
if they live together, that's what we would call married in the eyes of God.
yes. Uh, it it's a way of doing things, but the story doesn't stop here. After a few years, the lady died. Um the lady died during the night. I don't know what she problem have. She go to do namaskar to Shri Mataji and died there. The men find her in the morning. After just few years, the men try start to live with another Sahaja from the same country, and they also do not get married. The lady also wasn't very young. Her husband died for a few years. Wasn't a Sahaja Yogi, the husband. And they decided all of the sudden to get married and announce everybody after a puja. Um, we will get married. Come to our house. Come to our house to. I thought, or the people, some people thought is a will be at the party after the marriage. No, no, no. Was the marriage in front of Shri Mataji by themselves? They go to marry in front of Shri Mataji. No, and not married to the officially. So
Right.
again, some people reject very strongly this kind of stuff. Some people just look, how should I put, mildly at these things. And in the end, to the pressure of the people, the uh, council said, no, it's not okay. You should stay away for a while, go to merit if you want it, but don't do this kind of mambo jumbo, playing with using Sahaja Yoga anyway, and Shri Mataji. So they do that, but also start going with a lot of explanation and a lot of stuff. In the end, they separated, so doesn't work. Not because of the collective, but in the end, doesn't work. And he goes back in his country, get with another lady there. So why come in my mind this example is because you said you have to understand them. Yes, you have to understand uh, a lot of things which are going wrong with one condition: the people realize it's wrong and try to change it.
Yeah.
That's my approach. But again, everybody is different. So um,
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I mean, when we were new in Saratoga, we were very naive. We thought, oh, we have vibratory awareness now. So, we will always know the truth. We will always know what's right and wrong. And it's not that simple, is it?
no, it's not that simple. It's not that simple at all.
I've done several experiments actually where I've sort of asked a group of people like to check vibrations on something. Yeah. I mean, one simple one was you get two pieces of paper. One you write 2 plus 2 equals 4, and another one you write 2 plus 2 equals 5. Now, 2 plus 2 equals 4 actually has vibrations.
Yes, it's because it's
And
the
2
truth.
plus, because it's the truth. So then you hold up 2 pieces of paper and you say, like, you've got a room. I did it, there was about 30 or 40 Sarjogis in the room. And who thinks this one's better? Who thinks that one's better? And it's about 50-50.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, and that's not the first time I've done it on other occasions. I was teaching in Dharamshala for a few years, and this thing came up, and it's sort of come and gone in Sarjogha, like whether when you say Shri Mahakali Vairava, you should say Shri Mahakali Sakshat Shri Vairava.
Yes.
Yeah, in between. Uh, okay, so some people got a bit, fanatical. You have to say it. And then I was thinking, well, I've been in Sahaja 30 years and, I've never said it that way before. So humanity didn't teach us that way. So why do we have to do it? If you want to, you can, that's fine. But, have to is the
Yes.
problem, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Imposing.
So, yeah, people start getting fanatical.
Imposing is the wrong, but sometimes the imposing is done very subtle. It's not by shouting or by telling you exactly how it is, but trying to get as many people as possible around some ideas, around some way of doing things. And I reckon this is the start of dogmatism. And the dogmatism will lead to fanaticism. So when
Yeah,
you try to uh, make the protocol very strict, because I believe the protocol, we never ever know the full protocol to worship God,
sure,
because
yeah,
God is infinite. So obviously the protocol to worship God will be infinite. So
yeah, yeah,
we choose only uh, the main things or the very important things. Obviously, the Hindus are very knowledgeable about that. They have 16 ways of doing, 16 steps of doing pujas, and I try
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I try once during the Navaratri. I try something like that. Of course, at home, only with Delia. A knowledge
Yeah.
all the steps. You know, they have
How
it
was it? How was it?
very good, very,
Okay, okay.
very, very good. But I do it by myself, only with Delia, with my wife.
Right, right.
You know, I never try to
Yeah.
impose this kind of stuff. I want to see how it is, including the circumambulation. And if I cannot do the circumambulation here because I don't have the way of doing behind around Shri Mataji's altar, I said only the mantra.
So you
So
can walk around your house.
we can, yes, we can work around the house, and this is possible. Lucky for me, I have that possibility. I will take it into consideration one day.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
uh,
I mean, I've been to pujas in India where they say they chant long strings of the Vedas and stuff. And you're sitting there thinking, "Oh my God, I've lost my ability to feel vibrations." But then they sing a bhajan and suddenly, woof. Oh, okay. So you ask them, you say, why do you do that stuff? They say, because it's the auspicious thing to do.
yes, that's true. It's a good answer. We have to take.
No, but yeah, but Mataji said on tape, if something doesn't have vibrations, you cannot say that it's auspicious.
Yes,
So auspicious means got vibrations,
yes, that's true. Perfect.
not what's written in a book somewhere.
Yeah. So the protocol we should. It, I don't know. I don't want to use too much my thoughts here, but I take our discussion as a free discussion, and I sometimes I just tell you what I think, and I'm just asking you what's your opinion. So, how do you think about having a strict protocol and do it all the time the same? Starting with Shri Ganesha and starting with that and that, and do it all the time the same. When we start Sahaja Yoga 35 years ago, we were told a certain protocol. We have even a book of protocol, and I remember our leader Dan Costian stick to that protocol all the time. I was new in Sahaja Yoga. Everybody were new in Sahaja Yoga by that time, but we are stick with that protocol, with acknowledging the uh, coach, acknowledging the rise, everything, the bell, and all the stuff. And I remember with shame, but that time I wasn't ashamed. I wasn't a bit upset. Why we're doing all the time this kind of stuff? And without too much explanation, because there are just few explanation about why are we doing that. Exactly like translation of the 12 names of Sri Ganesha. Not too much explanation. Okay, he have a big belly. So what? So exactly like offering, so saying mantra for the bell. Not too much explanation wise. Took me more than 20 years to start thinking about that and realizing the importance of saying those mantras. But that have to come inside of you. And since then, always by myself at home with my wife, sometimes we are doing that, especially for Navaratri, for Diwali, for puja, which are doing a bit more extended. Otherwise, we have domestic puja at home and Havan, which are maybe 40 minutes long. So not too long. Except Shri Mataji's talk, because we listen to Shri Mataji talks every day anyway. So
yeah.
How you think about
See,
that?
some people get very upset if you don't listen to the whole of Shri Mataji's talk.
Yes,
You sort of
that's
stop it in the middle or something.
Yes, yes.
It's like, okay, that's weird. Anyway, it's one way of to get around that is to start in the middle and run it to the end. But, anyway, it's I would say one of the things about the protocol is
Yes.
that it's not always the same. That's part of the protocol.
Always the same.
But it's not always the same.
Not always the same.
Part of the protocol is that you bring the changes.
Yes.
You have a big toolbox and you decide, well, I need this tool and that tool today.
Yes. Yes.
And next time something else, So I would say that's part of the protocol, is that it's not always the same.
Why?
Anyway.
Why? Explain us.
Why?
Develop.
Well, you know why? Because
I know, but the people who listen to us don't.
Yeah, it just becomes a routine,
Yes.
And, yeah.
The routine will lead to the dogma, and the dogma leads to fanatism.
Yeah.
And after that, everything will be as dry as a dead tree.
Yeah. We have another saying, which is that, slip my mind that, what do you think? Yeah, anyway, yeah. Okay, anyway, it's a big subject, yeah.
Yes. I want to ask you something, Chris. When you start telling us today about Shri Mataji, your Shri Mataji experiences, you said that usually people tell stories about Shri Mataji's human aspect, about her doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, not always.
Not always.
Yeah.
That brings me to something I read in Puranas about the forms of God. And I want to first, I will tell you what I know, and I want to first to confirm if you know about that, or if you know differently, and if you don't know, tell me if it makes sense. So
Okay.
what I read it was like that. To my shame, I don't know exactly the source. I know that I take notes about that. If I take notes, that means I take it from Purana. Uh, they said that God takes three forms simultaneously. So the first one is the absolute impersonal form, which they
Yeah.
call it Brahmakaya. Brahma,
Yeah.
evidently being the god. Kaya, I was looking what means it's a body, it's a
Use the body. Yeah.
corpus. So Brahma Kaya is the absolute impersonal form, which is the uh, Paramatma, Parabrahma, or Brahman.
Yeah. The all-pervading formless consciousness.
Yes, which is completely unpersonal. That's the main,
Yeah.
or the, let's say, original form. The second way is the celestial form, which Divya Kaya. I mean, the body of a form of God. So start taking form. So
Yeah.
those are the one we know it, like Shri Shiva, like Shri Brahma, like Shri Vishnu, goddess
Yeah.
Shakti. And finally,
Uh-huh.
the last one is the human form. It's called Manusya. Manusa means human. I find myself, um, which these human forms, the famous examples are Sri Rama and Sri Krishna.
That's the actual incarnations.
The incarnation. So
Yeah.
they said very clear that those forms are taken simultaneously. So means Brahmakaya, it's in the same time Divyakaya. So let's say Sri Brahma, for example, it's in the same time as the impersonal form, but in the same time is the Divya form, and in the same time in a human form. So how you think about that? How you have you ever encountered those ideas? First of all,
Um, well, I think you could say that it corresponds with the sort of the three channels, quite well, because yeah. I mean, like with Shri Mataji, we know that she's human
yes,
in the physical body,
yes,
but we also know that she embodies all the deities. So that's what you're saying, the deities.
yes.
So she's them, and she's also an embodiment of the Supreme Spirit, the all-pervading consciousness. And when she talks, it's God talking directly to its creation. So yeah, we agree with that. Yeah, those three exist at the same time. Yeah.
That bring me to the next question. Um, I'm not sure if we mentioned here that we exchanged over the years few emails about uh, ideas from your book. I ask questions and we were talk. I ask you some help with some names of Sri Kartikeya translation. So we have a little of exchange
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
emails.
sure.
In one
Yeah.
of your emails, which I don't know by heart, asking you,
I
but
hope not.
no, no, but
Yeah.
the quote, what I want to say, I don't know it by heart, and uh,
Okay.
but the main thing was like that. When I asking you about you staying uh, more than me around Shri Mataji and know more things about Shri Mataji and how she deal with different things. My question was about the so-called discrepancies or controversies. When Shri Mataji said one time something and some other time something else. For me, in a way, it's after a lot of dealing with this question, for me was very simple. It is as it is. I don't know why, and I don't care why. My question is, how can I find the reason for Shri Mataji said something like that? And all the time when I find a controversy, the last one was between Tarakasura and Narakasura, if you remember that.
Yeah, she always mixed them up.
Yeah, I asked you once about that.
Yeah.
And you told me that Shri Mataji, in a conversation, it's happened sometimes to get it wrong. And if someone which it's happened to be there talking pointed that is different, she said, oh, yeah, okay, it's different.
Yeah. No, I mean,
So I remember
she
you.
did lots of that. She did plenty of that, yeah.
Yes. So question is, why do you think Shri Mataji in her human forms make those, let's call them discrepancies, mistakes? Yes. I have an answer. My answer is for us to search more. It's a stupid answer, but it's the first one I
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what can you say? I don't think she just wasn't that bothered. It didn't matter that much, you know. It was Narakasura or Tarakasura, whatever, you know. I mean, she used to say, William Blake said, men of God will become prophets and they will have the power to make other men prophets. And the answer is no, actually, he never said that, you know. And in fact, it was Yanadeva who actually said that. But the point was that they were like incarnations of the same thing. They were all incarnations of Bhairava. So if it wasn't actually William Blake, it was another incarnation of Bhairava who actually said it. William Blake did say men of gold will become prophets.
yes.
But the other bit actually came from Yanadeva, you know. So over time, she kind of mixed these things up in a way. Like,
Why? Why? It's not for us to search more?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, if you want to. The point is, it didn't matter, you know. If you're going to start nitpicking and saying, oh, well, she, you know, that's not what's the important. The important thing is the message, isn't it? You know.
But you realize that for a fanatic guy, this can be an end of the road. And he said, Shri Mataji said that's it. And more than that, if it's for this, or if it's for this guy the end of the road, it's okay. But this guy usually like to spread that information and said, Shri Mataji said that, you do only that. And he make a circle of people who try to stick with that truth, which is only half of the truth.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get stuck on that level, well, then you're not Sarjyogi.
So, Chris, you told me the
I'll just say one thing. I remember Shri Mataji in the talk, Navaratri talk once saying,
yes,
the false gurus do a very good job. They keep all the stupid people away from Sahaja Yoga.
If I want to be
so
nasty,
maybe that's why she makes these kind of mistakes.
If I want to be nasty, I can said that not all of them, not all of the false gurus succeed.
It didn't succeed very well. Yeah, that's definitely nasty. Yeah.
It's a bit nasty.
We have to include ourselves in that.
So I have another things which is fantastic. Discovered it recently, maybe a year ago. Um, Prophecy from Shri Mataji. I find two of them. Like I
Okay.
told you before, we are listening to Shri Mataji every day. Uh, you said there are people who are very strict on that one. You have to listen the whole talk. We are not listening the whole talk. We are listening. No, not we. I, because Delia have her own way of. We are not in the same time in the morning. Have a little bit of
Okay.
yeah, different timing. She listened to her device and I listened to my device. We are overlapping, but not in the same room. Um, so, first of all, we listened everything from the beginning, 75, and
Yeah.
uh, I asked Shimataji to help me live until I finish the last talk. So, so
Take a long time. I mean, it's like how many 3,000 talks? Or something?
yes,
So that's one a day for 10 years. You know.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm in 1990 now, so I
Oh,
still
really? Oh, wow.
I'm still having a lot. That's the
But it
first.
must be. But surely the public programs and things. I mean, it must be very repetitive. You know. So,
Doesn't matter. I listen to them, and I try to be in meditation. I listen to Hindu. I listen to every language she spoke about.
okay.
Doesn't matter if it's not English. I skip music program. I listened only what Shimataji said about that music program. I don't or pujas. I didn't stay for the whole puja. I listened only to the talk. Uh,
Yeah.
the first um, prediction she made was much before 1990, when she said to different people, to the public program, go to listen to my tapes. I've done 3,000 talks. She didn't. By that time, she did only probably 1,000, 1,000 and something.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the end, if you count them all, probably in 2008, when she gave the last one, maybe will be 3,000. But she said that long time before.
You gave talks after 2008.
No, only the last one was in 2008.
No, no, no.
Or maybe few, I don't know. In Amruta, the last one is in 2008.
Yeah, no. She gave a talk 2010. I remember. For
Okay.
Guru Puja.
Yeah,
Yeah.
means, but again, probably I'm wrong. But again, there are only one or two talks per year, or sometime 1 year is not
Yeah,
covered.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Very little, yeah.
The point is, on total, she may be done about 3,000 talk, but that wasn't in 80s, you know? So when she said that was probably end of 80s or beginning of 90s. But the one who blew my mind was in the beginning of 90s, when she said something about people who should write about Sahaja Yoga or write spiritual books. When she started telling a lot of people to Sahaja Yogis, that is one of our duty to write the books. And she started to count the people who write books. Of course, Gregoire, of course, Jamel, of course, Yogi Mahajan. Um, and she said a Romanian start writing a book about Bible. Um, because was the Gita enlightened, was the Quran enlightened, was I reckon Gwen have his first book about the mother and spirituality. And she said about a Romanian who start writing about, no, not Romanian. She said someone start writing about the Bible enlightened. And that one was in a talk in the beginning of 1990.
Okay.
By that time, Dan Costian, who wrote that book, wasn't even in Sahaja Yoga.
Yeah.
He came in August.
Yeah.
And it took him few good years to start writing the books, and took him another 10 years to finish it. But
That can't be quite true, because I think I read it around 1997.
yes, yeah, the original, the English version is 2001. But again, those small details are not important. What small detail I thought it's important was if he getting material before starting writing the books. And to my shame, although I was close to him, I never asked him that when he was alive or when we are together in Romania. I should ask him, Uncle Dan, you already have piles of materials gathered here in your study, because I know he's interested in a lot of stuff, including spirituality. I repaired that mistake talking with his son recently again. Of course, I know Călin from Romania, but he moved in United States. And recently, we talk about his experience in Sahaja Yoga, but also about his father. And I asked him exactly, directly, hey, Călin, it's happened, Uncle Dan, to get materials long before. And he said no. So not even have this project in his mind. But Shri Mataji said that someone starting writing a book about Bible enlightened.
Okay, sure.
Another, it's happened also in the beginning of 90 when she was in, she came from Russia and talk about the Eastern countries who get realization by thousands. And she said that that's happened in June, this talk. And she said, oh, even in Romania, there have been 8,000 people without me being there. And I was there. No way to be 8,000 people, not even 800 people to the first programs when we get the realization. Probably 8,000 people in 2 programs were in August, in 2 months after she said that.
Yeah.
Also was a program without Shri Mataji. Was a program led by Antonio, 2 days, 1st and 2nd of August, in a huge hall, and probably no one can count it, but probably there were 8,000 there without Shri Mataji. But 2 months after she said that. So
Okay.
I want to
No,
share.
I think she did that quite a lot, I think, yeah. I mean, obviously she's, if you're, what should we say, if you're one with the all-pervading, the past and the future doesn't exist, it's all one, you know.
You know,
So,
everything in the same time.
yeah. Also, it depends what has vibrations. It's like if you say, how many Satyogis are there in England? And I say, if I say 2,000, then that has quite a lot of vibrations, yeah? Now, if you look at how many people actually turn up for a puja, you might say, oh, about 400.
How about
But,
how about the one who get right 2 plus 2?
well, how about the ones that don't get it right? Are they really Sajogis?
That
So,
that brings me to the next question.
right.
How we are so wrong, Chris? Why we are so wrong? If you ask 2 people or 10 people the same question, 5 will say something, the other 5 will say something else. Why that?
Well, if you're talking about checking vibrations, I would say that just using your hands is a bit limited. I have personally I have about four ways of checking vibrations. Yeah?
Okay.
So,
So can you tell us?
Yeah. Okay. So there's your hands, right?
Yes.
And then there's the void. So something is good vibrations. The void feels smooth, calm, relaxed.
Yes.
And if it's not good, then it feels tight and sort of like a bag of rats running around. Yeah. And then there's the Agya chakra. That if something is good, it actually goes up through Agya, but if it's not very good, then it kind of blocks.
The Agya or Hamsa?
Well, they're about the same thing, really.
Actually, Hamsa belong to Vishuddhi, so
yeah, but Hamsa, actually, the quality of Hamsa is discrimination, which is actually also the quality of Agya. Agya is judgment, isn't it? Discrimination, judgment.
Yeah.
You know? So it's very much the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, Agya, I was saying Agya, I mean in the middle of the head, you know, not in the front. But,
Yeah. Yeah. In the
you
middle.
know, yeah. And then the Sahasrara, you know. Again, does it go up in Sahasrara or does it kind of close off, you know? So you've got these different ways of feeling vibrations, so you can, what should you say, you can balance them against each other and see how they feel. I personally feel that the hands is one of the less accurate
Why?
techniques.
Why?
Well, because it's, you know, does it feel cool? Well, you know, maybe the window's open and wind's blowing, or, you know, I don't know. It's
How about feeling? How about when you get something in your hand and you believe that you are asking about someone or something? Actually, you get what is inside of you. Is possible to be that?
well, that's part of it, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you'll be feeling your own vibrations, possibly
Yes.
at the
Yes.
same time.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So the other thing I'd say about checking vibrations is that it's good to have, you know, alternatives. You know, if you just say, "Should I take this job?" maybe it feels good, maybe it doesn't. But if you have alternatives like, "How are the vibrations if I do take the job? How if I don't take the job? How if I just wait for another 2 months before deciding?" You know, have alternatives. Yeah. So I mean, somebody once asked me to check vibrations. Shall I get married in Cabela or in India? So I said, well, let's have a third alternative, you know. Should I wait a couple more years and really establish myself in Sergio before I get married? Which that had the vibrations.
Yes.
But he didn't want to hear that, you know. He wanted to get married. So he went ahead, you know, got married. Yeah.
Sometimes the people put the question having already the answer or hoping for an answer. Usually, when I get married, uh, we give to our leader Dan Costian our pictures, my and my wife, and we make a pledge, sincere, that we will respect everything Shri Mataji will say. But very, very sincere, from the bottom of my heart, and I hope was from the bottom of her heart as well. We just say whatever will be, will be. And we were already in a relationship. So we want strongly and truthfully to respect what Shri Mataji said. Give the picture to Uncle Dan. Uncle Dan then goes there and asks Shri Mataji. And that was all. And when I left for New Zealand, I never take the vibrations. Selling everything, we feel that our, not destiny, sounds too big. It's our path. We feel it like that. We have the strong feeling that it's a right thing to do, and we start it. Like this YouTube channel, I never take should I do the YouTube channel? Should I talk with this and that and that? No, I just ask people if they want to talk with me.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we should, that's just being your own guru, isn't it? You know?
I don't dare to say that I reached that stage, but at least I don't know. I believe in that I one day I will become my own guru, and I used to speak with my wife about our evolution, and we, without joking, we believe ourselves we are on the path to become Sahaja yogis.
Yeah, well, I think we're all on, hopefully. I mean, they always say that, you know, if you're making some progress up, that's fine. It doesn't matter how fast it is, as long as it's some, you know, in the right direction. Yeah, we'll get there in the end.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I do sometimes get kind of messages. You say, you know, for example, I worked on the Ganesha Tavashirsa book for about 10 years or something, and I kept working on it. And yeah, I was just doing it for my own interest mostly, you know. And I'm not very good at pushing my stuff out, you know. But I got this very, you know, this message, you know, this thing like, you've got to print the book, you've got to publish the book, and it's like, kind of get this thought comes in your head, and you get like a ton of vibrations flowing everywhere. You go, yeah, okay, all right.
You don't take the vibration. Yeah. You don't take the vibration. You don't ask the vibration to if it's all right to.
No, you don't. Well, you don't have to ask the vibrations. You just the thought came in your head, and you just got a bucket.
That's my point.
Full of vibrations.
Yes.
Vibrations poured over you. So you don't have to ask the vibrations; they're telling you.
They're telling you exactly.
So, you know, and there's other, yeah. And there's other with the books as well. I had one time I had this thing. This thought came in. You know, print the 2 books. I was just going back to UK for some reason. But print the 2 books and take them with you to UK. So, okay, the 2 books. What are those? So I thought, oh, okay. I was working on the book about the Sri Chakra and the 3 worlds.
Yes.
I thought, oh, those 2 books, you know.
Yeah.
So I started. It didn't kind of work out, you know. And then actually, I realized actually the 2 books actually meant the 2nd edition of the Ganesha Tavashirsa book and the 3 worlds book, not the Sri Chakra book. I just finished now, like 10 years later. So
we have
sometimes
some.
Oh, the Sri Chakra, right? Yeah. Okay. And the 3 worlds, yeah. Great. You're a good publicity man. That's all I need.
I do it. I do it for the spreading the truth. That's, I believe. What are you doing? You are writing the truth, but the truth do not get there very easily. So yeah, that's it. Um, I have to apologize first of all to you, and secondly to our viewers, because I'm talking too much. But to wash
Okay.
that scene from me, I can promise, if you agree, to meet again and to continue, because I have a lot of uh, questions. So I want to talk with you, if you agree, about mantra book, or I don't call it an alternative mantra book. I call it a book of prayers and names who can be used in Sahaja Yoga. I want to talk to you about democracy in Sahaja Yoga. I want to ask you about if the collectivity is always right. Um, so I believe I have few more things about what you think about these topics, and of course we always can come back to the book, because I have here few things, always starting to make a list about what
All right.
I want to ask you about this book,
Right.
to see if I get it right. But we are getting close to our
Really? That was quick. Okay.
agree time.
Yeah.
So I have to thank you for today conversation. We will
No, no, it was fun. Yeah. It's good.
arrange for another one. I hope people who listen to us want to listen more. And Jai Shri Mataji to you, to our
Okay.
viewer.
Jason,
Goodbye, and see you some other time. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jason.